Jewish Family Service. That's an agency in North Brunswick, and we help people with citizenship and green cards and family visas, anything having to do with citizenship and immigration services. So mostly it's green cards, renewing green cards, applying for family visas, and consular applications when people are being interviewed abroad. But today we're going to talk about citizenship. So citizenship has changed since we have a new president, and the rules are a little stricter, and the test is honestly more complicated. It definitely can be done, but it just takes a lot of study time. And make sure that you are prepared, because officers are not going to be very patient. They ask a question, they want an answer. So who is eligible to apply for citizenship? So you have to be 18, at least 18 years old. Anybody under 18 cannot apply. If their parent is a citizen, then they can file a separate application to make the child a citizen. But you have to be 18 years old to apply. You have to have a green card for 5 years. So it's 5 years since you became a permanent resident. Immigration allows you to apply after 4 years and 9 months, not one day before. Some people think they can apply before and it will get seen earlier. They will either send it back to you or wait till they take your money, and then when you get there, they tell you that you're not eligible because you applied too early. So just to be sure, we wait 4 years and 10 months at a minimum, and the date you sign it is the date you must be eligible. So the date that you are signing is at least 4 years and 10 months. If you're married to a US citizen, then it's 3 years or 2 years and 9 months. Okay? So you have to show also that you can speak, read, and write English. If you understand me, then you should really be okay. The officer won't often speak as slowly as I am, but you will be expected to write an English sentence, read an English sentence, answer civics, history questions, which I've put back there a sample. So it used to be that there were 100 questions that you had to learn. Now it's 128 questions. So we suggest that you take a few every night and study them and then go back. At most, the officer will ask you 20 questions. If you get 12 right, you pass that portion of the test, which we're going to go back to. If you get 8 wrong, you automatically fail, and you will be given an opportunity to come back one more time. Okay, but we'll get to the test in a minute. I just want to talk about who is eligible. So you have to be able, as I said, to speak, read, and write English. If you have a green card, so this is important. Not how long you're in the country, but how long you have a green card, okay? If you're 55 years old, at least, and you have your green card for 15 years, you can take the test and come in, have a seat. So we're just talking about who is eligible to apply. So we've just said 18 years and older. You have to be here 4 years and 9 months at least. Speak, read, and write English. But if you are 55 or older and you've had your green card for 15 years, you can take the test in your native language. Just bring someone with you to the interview who is fluent, who speaks well your language and English. They don't have patience for people who translate, who can't speak fluently. It's 55-15, or you're 50 and you've had your green card for 20 years. All right, so these two groups can take the test in whatever language they choose to take the test. The only other time is if you have a disability that prevents you from learning, then you can have a doctor fill out a form that's called N648, which is a doctor's letter that documents exactly what your disability is. It has to be a disability that affects your brain. It can't be something where you have back problems or knee problems. You have to show that you can't remember dates. And it has to be very specific. The doctor has to take certain tests. They are very strict. Since we have the new administration, they don't like to approve these. They want people to speak, read, and write English if they become citizens. The only time I've really seen it successful is if, God forbid, someone's had a stroke and their brain is somehow not allowing them to learn and remember. So that's in extreme cases. Otherwise, you really have to study. On that back table, we do have citizenship classes that are geared just to prepare you for the citizenship test. They're not really for beginners who don't speak English. They're really just to study and practice the interview skills. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about that?
Hello, hi, happy new everyone.
Hi.
I'm late, sorry, I'm late.
It's okay, that's okay. We're just talking about who is eligible to apply. All right. So, you also have to live in New Jersey for at least 3 months. You can't move here from North Carolina and then apply. You have to show residency for at least 90 days in New Jersey. Okay. So that's pretty much who's eligible. The really hard part and what's changed now is what's called good moral character. And the officer has to make sure that you are a person of good moral character. So what does that mean? That you're a good person, you're a kind person. So basically, anybody who's had any criminal offense, it used to be in the last 5 years, but now, honestly, they're looking at forever. If you've had any criminal offense and you were found guilty and had a conviction, you really need to speak to someone who can help you decide whether or not you should apply. I personally have worked with a lot of people who have one DWI in the last 5 years. Everything that they're looking at is supposed to be just the last 5 years, where you lived, where you worked. But when it comes to criminal activity, right now, they're looking at the whole picture. And they're even looking at if you applied before and if for some reason you got denied. They're looking at the whole picture. So my recommendation is if anybody has an arrest or anything with the law, not traffic, nobody cares if you have a speeding ticket. If you had to go to court and you had a guilty conviction, I really suggest that you get a letter from your clergy, from maybe your boss, from someone else that can verify that you are a person of good moral character and that you work hard or that you're a family person, something like that. And again, if there's anything in your history whatsoever, please consult someone before you go ahead and apply. We get nervous now. We're hearing a lot of stories, not in Newark, but in other cities where people do get taken away because they have a criminal offense. So we do not want to put anybody in that situation where, God forbid, that could happen to them. So if there's anything in your history, please consult with someone before you apply. All right. So any questions? Sure.
That speeding ticket we need to mention in the application or?
Unless the fine was more than $500, you don't need to mention it.
But-
And again, I'm telling you that what's going on up until today, because immigration is changing and there are new laws and they're not, even the officers themselves are not knowledgeable enough about what's going on right now. They're just getting some guidance. And so we can only tell you what's happening up until today. So what I'm discussing, I can only verify is true today because it's a very hard time for immigrants and for people who work with immigrants.
Will it affect in any way if we put the speeding ticket thing?
You can put it down, but then you have to show proof that you paid the ticket.
Okay.
So I'm sorry.
Before we ask more questions, I just want to make sure everybody knows that this is being streamed on YouTube right now. Nobody aside from Debbie is in the frame of the camera, but the microphones can hear whatever you say. So just for your own privacy's sake, just know that we are on YouTube. I just want to make sure everybody.
Right, but they're not going to be on.
They're not on camera.
Okay,
at all.
okay.
But if you ask a question, that will be
Right.
So just so you know.
So if you do have anything, get the backup because they're going to ask you for it. Okay, I think
What is DWI?
driving while intoxicated, drunk driving. So it used to be that even if you had one, you could still apply. Now we're telling people, wait, just wait. Okay, did somebody else here have a question?
Yeah, so this 55/15 and 50/20, they are exactly same thing or are there different?
55 is if you are 55 or older and you've had your green card, not residence you've had a green card for at least 15 years, or if you're 50 years old and you've had the green card for 20 years, you can take the test in your own language. So you would have to find the questions in your own language and study them.
I see, interesting. So you don't need English proficiency then?
If you qualify under these conditions, then you don't. Then they won't ask you to read or write any English sentence. Also, I just want to say that it used to be that when you went to immigration, they had to get phone translators, and that was their job to find a phone translator. Well, Department of Homeland Security is now saying that they don't have enough money for the phone translators anymore, and they've cut that out. So you can go, but if you are under 55, 15 or 50-20 rule, bring someone with you who is fluent in your language and in English. And when I say fluent, I mean that they can translate every word that's on that application.
I actually, there is some kind of waiver you still need for those.
It's a medical waiver,
Yes.
and that's if your doctor can prove that you have a disability, but it has to be a cognitive disability,
Yeah.
something that you can't remember or learn. It can't be anything physical.
Yeah, so it's not just this age and.
These
gender.
three things mean that you don't have to take the test in English. But it's going to be up to the officer to decide if they're going to approve your medical waiver from your
Exactly,
doctor.
yeah, that's
And
it.
they don't like to approve them.
Yeah.
I mean, I represent people at their interviews, and I have to fight really hard to get those done. And if you're working, if you have some job, but you still are not able to remember, if you're working, they will never approve a waiver. Okay. All right, so let's talk about how to apply. So once you're sure that you meet the requirements, you're over 18, you've lived here long enough, you can speak, read, and write English, then you are ready to submit your application. And on the back table, I've placed the applications that you need to apply. You can apply online. This is the website. So our office helps people apply with paper, and if you want to apply online, you will save $50. So right now, the fee to apply is $710, and we're going to talk about how to waive that. $710 if you're applying online, and $760 if it's a paper application you're submitting. So my handwriting is terrible. I'm sorry. It's www.uscis.gov. www.uscis.gov. That's the immigration website. And the form that you want is N400. Any form with N is naturalization. Okay? So if you decide that you want to apply online, you will save $50. Now, the government says that if you are low income, you don't have to pay the amount. But the question is, how low does your income have to be? So it's all done with a tax return to prove low income. And on the back, on that back table, I've given you the poverty guidelines. Does everybody have them? Because I'd really like you to see what it is. Okay. So basically, you look at how many people. I'm going to wait till you have them because otherwise it's not going to make any sense. This is to get the fee waived or paying half. It's half of the 765, not the 710. If you apply online, you can't get the fee waived, only paper.
Online is 710, that's what you said?
710 online, but no fee waivers are allowed online, only paper. And the fee waivers are back there as well. And you submit your application with the fee waiver, and the way that you prove low income is your most recently filed tax return, which is 2025. Used to be that they would take it if you showed that you were receiving a public benefit. We don't suggest you do that anymore. Okay, so let's say you're a family of 4, 2 adults and 2 children. So the first column shows the number 49,500. So if your adjusted gross income on your tax return is less than 49,500, you don't have to pay the fee, the 760 fee. If your income is between, go to number 4, if it's between 49,500 and 132,000, you pay half of the 760. And again, this is only if you're applying on paper. Does everybody, you get that? Okay. I mean, a lot of people are able to pay half because the income requirement is 400% of the poverty guideline. So a lot of people do fall under that second category. So does everybody understand that? Okay. So that's the only way that you don't have to pay for this application. All right. So you're going to submit your application either online or a paper application. You're going to mail it to, I have the address. I'll put it on the board at the end where it's mailed to, but it's in the directions. If you go to uscis.gov, Form N400, you'll see where you need to mail it to. You're going to send the application with a copy of your green card, the front and the back. If you're married, we suggest you submit the marriage certificate. If you're applying based on marriage to a U.S. citizen, we'll talk about that privately because there's a lot of stuff that you need to submit to show that it's a real marriage. So it's just a copy of the green card and a marriage certificate if you're married.
Also for the children,
Birth certificates,
for the family, if you're applying.
Under 18 kids.
you don't need to submit their birth certificates. Bring them with you to the interview in case the officer asks. But if you say you're married, they want the marriage certificate. If you say you're divorced, they want the divorce certificate. If you're a widow or a widower, they want the death certificate. So, and if you're married 3 times, they want 3 terminations of marriage, 2 terminations of marriage. All right? That's really all you need to send with the application, a copy of the green card. And now they do not take checks or money orders anymore. You have to fill out a credit card authorization form. And this is the form number. It's a lot, right? It's G1450. And it's on the USCIS website, which is again, uscis.gov. Any questions?
Also need to submit like the tax statement, right? Last 5 years,
If
10 years.
no, only if you're applying based on marriage, then a joint return. But otherwise, no, only a tax return if you're asking to have the fee waived.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise, bring it with you. They don't need them.
I heard like that one, they wanted to check whether you were filing the taxes properly or is there any.
They will ask you, do you owe any taxes? But you don't need to send it with the application. Bring it with you as proof. You don't need to download it or submit it. Just the green card and your proof of marital status. Okay. So you're going to send that application in. Remember, you have to attach that G1450 if you are not eligible for the fee waiver and you're paying for the application. Only a credit card authorization. There's also a form if you want to do it directly from your bank account. I don't really suggest you do that and put that out there, but you can do a credit card because at least you can cancel that.
Physical application, not for online application.
Online application too.
But online, we will directly pay for it, right, during that final stage.
Yes, but they want an authorization. You have to give them a credit.
Submit it online.
You can submit it online. Yes, yes. So you're going to put all that together. You're going to either submit it online. I mean, there's a rolling questions. They're not exactly like the paper form, but very, very similar. You're going, if you're mailing it, you make sure you mail it certified mail so that you, oh, sorry.
But I want it closer to the
Yeah.
camera.
Make sure you mail it certified mail so that you can track that they got the application. If you submit it online, you will immediately get a receipt. Know that they received it. Our office does both online filing and paper filing.
Why do so many folks over 40 with type?
Where'd that come from? All right, I don't know where that came from. All right. Make sure that whatever you submit, you make a copy of it so that you can refer back to it and you can prepare because all of the questions that are on that application, the officer can ask you. Some officers ask all those questions on the application. Some just once they see that you can speak English, they hop and skip, but you never know what you're going to encounter. And again, we're going to get to the interview in a minute. So you're going to keep a copy of it. Once you mail it, you should get a receipt within 2 or 3 weeks. You're going to keep that receipt, and then you will probably get a notice to go for fingerprints, unless they can still use fingerprints that they have on file. Either way, they will notify you by mail. If you establish an online account, which you do once you send in the application, either online or paper, you will get a receipt and then a code to how to establish an online account where you can send them information if they request it, and you'll get notices before they come in the mail. Otherwise, everything should come in the regular mail that you receive. If you change your address, you really need to let them know because you will never see anything. If you do submit your application with an attorney or an accredited representative, they file it with an attorney's notice and they get a copy of everything you get a copy of, so they can speak for you in case there's any issue. Otherwise, no one can speak for you but yourself. Okay.
Question answer will be same, right? The 100 questions. or-
So now it's 128 questions.
So what is the difference between two different things here? 2008 and 2005?
That's a good question. So up until, I believe it was October 31st, anybody who applied could take the 2008 test. That was 120 questions. You only had to get 6 right. If you submitted your I don't know what your situation is, but if you submitted it before October 31st, you're going to take that 2008 test, which is easier. If you submitted after that, you have to take the newer
So until
version.
you clear the 6 questions, they'll keep asking, is it? What happens if I don't answer a couple of questions? So they'll be keep
If-
asking all this.
Okay, so we're going to talk about interviews now.
Okay, got it.
So what's going to happen is New Jersey has 3 service centers. I assume you all live in Middlesex County, or
Right.
so everybody here will go to the office. It's the Central Jersey office. It's in Cranberry, so it's exit 8A. It's very close. Be thankful you don't have to go to Newark because the parking is a mess. And if you live outside of this area, the office is in Mount Laurel, which is exit 4 on the turnpike. So everybody here will probably go to that Cranberry office. The Cranberry office has pluses and minuses. So the Cranberry office has great parking. That's what I'm going to say about the Cranberry office. It's very easy to park. So when you submit your application, you get a receipt, a fingerprint notice, whether you need to go or not, and then you wait for your interview. I cannot tell you how long that's going to be. What we're seeing right now is somewhere between 4 and 13 months. We're shocked when it comes at 4 months, and we're shocked when it's 13 months, but it's somewhere in between. If 15 months have passed and you submitted your application and you still don't have an interview date, you should call immigration and say you submitted it, you have a receipt with that date, what's going on. The Cranberry office moves pretty quickly, but once you get there, it seems to be a long wait. So now you're waiting for your interview notice. So on the day that you have to go, I just have to stop and say that if for some reason the day before you are ill, something happens, you need to call that 800 number, and I'm going to put it up here again because you should have it. Maybe not. 800-375-5283. 800-375-5283. And there's a trick to talking to a live person, and I'll tell you what it is.
Is this a Cranberry office?
This is the general, is no number for Cranberry or Mount Laurel. It's the general USCIS number. But when you call, you're going to get an automated response. And they're going to say, why are you calling today? And you have to say, even if it's not true, I need to reschedule an in-person appointment. Because that's the only way you're going to talk to a live person. If you say, oh, what's happening with my case? Forget it. They're going to hang up. You're going to give them the number and they're going to say, call back another time. It's too early. You must say, I'm calling to reschedule an in-person appointment. No matter why you're calling, even if that's the reason you're calling, fine. Then they'll ask you to put in your receipt number, which you will see on your receipt, and then you will get to talk to a live person. That's the only way. All right. So if you are ill the day before or there's some traumatic event and you cannot go, make sure you call the day before and tell them that you need to reschedule because you're sick and you don't feel like you should be going and making anybody else sick. Make sure that they will tell you, okay, we'll reschedule. They're very incompetent. Make sure that you ask for a customer service number. You want the receipt number of the phone call. Because if you then get a letter that says you didn't show up to your interview or canceling your case, you can, or I can, or somebody can say, this was the receipt of the customer call center that I called, and they did verify that I did reschedule. All right?
But there is no online rescheduling yourself, nothing like you have
You
to call.
can't online. I would not trust the online. I don't know of any online reschedule. You need to call to reschedule. But just make sure you get confirmation number of the phone call.
Then we lose our priority, right? Like next available appointment only they'll give.
They usually are pretty fast. I mean, I've seen it, like, for example, you don't know when you're going to be interviewed. You can travel in the meantime. So let's say you planned a trip for 5 months from now. Why not? You want to take a vacation. Then you get the notice and it will cost you money to reschedule your plane ticket. So you'd call them and you say, I have a plane ticket for that day. I can't reschedule. Anytime after this date, I'm available. And then hopefully they follow up. I see the reschedules coming quickly.
So it is like after application submitted, you cannot go out of America?
You can,
You can.
but you're just taking that small risk. But what if it takes a year? then you can't travel
No,
for a
often
year.
people say that, because we are providing the information like how long you are in the US and all this kind of thing. So the minute you go out, it just recorded an I-90 or something like this. So during the
I don't
interview.
know if they're checking the I-94s to see that you left. And people with green cards can't see their dates anymore.
Yeah.
If you're a visitor, not a green card holder, you can go to the I-94 website and see your dates. Once you have the green card, it disappears. That's just another thing that they did recently to drive everybody crazy.
So after submitting, they're free to go out of US.
Yes, absolutely. As long as your green card is valid. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't travel and know that your green card is expiring in 2 months because you don't know if some reason you have to cancel your trip. So keep your eye on the green card.
One more
And
question on the
yeah.
same thing. Generally, the notice, how long, well, early they will inform us?
I
What
would
is
say 3 weeks,
Okay.
3 to
3
4
weeks is
weeks.
all.
And again, if you have a representative, we get the notice. I ask people, call me, let me know you're leaving. I make a note in your file. So when I call you, I say, oh no, these people are not here. And then I will call to
Alert.
reschedule once I've emailed you. Okay, I mean, if you file online, you can check your USCIS online and see if an interview was scheduled.
Okay.
So after completing 4 years and 9 months only, we should start to apply.
You can apply. You don't have to, but you can. Okay, and you can apply with an expired green card too. If your green card is expiring in 2 months and you're ready to apply, you can apply and your receipt will say that your green card is extended. Right now, I think it's 24 or 48 months, it depends. But they're going to extend your green card because you've applied for citizenship. So if your card has expired, you can still apply. I mean, not 6 years ago, but recently.
How much of travel history should we fill in the application?
I'm sorry, what?
How much of the travel history should we fill in the
Yeah,
application?
it's all the last 5 years. You talking about the travel history?
Yeah.
Everything is 5 years. If you're married to a U.S. citizen, everything is 3 years. So you're going to go back 5 years.
Then hoping like I could find it online on I-94, looks like I can't, right?
If once you have a green card, the I-94 isn't going to tell you
Physically,
anything.
you have to go through the passport and check.
Try to do the best you can. I've sometimes written in the back, the dates I provided are to the best of my recollection. My passport wasn't stamped. If a date is incorrect, it's not meant to, mislead or provide fraudulent information. This is the best that I can recall. But anybody who's planning to apply, write down your dates. The date you left, the date you returned. Anybody, this is important, anybody who's out for more than 6 months at one time should not apply because that breaks continuous residence. I should have spoken about that at the beginning. So 6 months, if you're out for 6 months at one time, then that breaks continuous residence, and you need to wait 4 years and a day to apply from the date you return. So don't stay out for endless amounts of time. They also they have your travel history. You don't, but they do. And if you go and come and go, and if they see that you're here for 2 months and then there for 5 months, then come back for 2 months and gone again for 5 months, I don't think they're going to approve your case because you need to show that you're living here. Then you would need to show rental receipts, tax returns, a bank account showing that you maintained your status in the United States. So if anybody's planning to apply, stay here in the meantime. Okay,
One more question.
sure.
So after submitting the application, right? So what is the period like you'll get a receipt from the US?
You get a receipt with a receipt number and an access code to set up your own online account. Then you wait for the fingerprint notice. If they can use prior fingerprints, they'll tell you you don't have to go for fingerprints. If there's something that they want to request for evidence, something they weren't sure about, they'll send you a letter about it. But then you're basically waiting for the notice of interview.
So what is the time for the interview?
Again, anywhere between like 3-4 months and 13 months, I would say that's what we're seeing now. Cranberry's moving pretty quickly. It's very crowded, but they're moving quickly.
And no medical test required again, right? Medical test?
No, that was for the green card.
Oh,
You're asking a medical?
yeah, medical, okay, no.
What about the interview will be with the husband and wife together or separate? They can.
If you're applying based on marriage to a US citizen, your spouse should go with you.
No, just like a green card we have.
Oh, then no, they don't need to go with you. They
No.
don't even,
For the interview, they call us.
oh, you're talking
For
about,
both of us for the interview.
you're talking about for the green card?
No, for citizenship.
You'll both go on the same day, but you'll have separate interviews.
Right?
Timings are gonna be different.
No, but when we apply, the application, right? So date gonna change, right? We have a 3 family member. So the date might be changed, right, for the interview?
If you're applying with a family member and you're applying paper, put the applications together so that you're scheduled together for everything.
We didn't get this. He got the interview letter and I didn't stay.
We got our green cards 2021, both of us. We applied together, but I got it, but she hasn't got it yet.
Interview for the
Any,
interview.
any date.
That's okay.
That's okay, nothing to worry
Nothing
about.
to worry about. Usually they go, did you put the applications in together?
Yes.
And you didn't get the same date?
Still, I haven't heard anything. They just they have reviewed my file and.
And you checked your receipt number?
Everything, yeah.
It probably went to different officers and they're just one's taking more time than the other. I've seen that happen many times. It's not a red flag.
I went for an interview and I didn't pass.
Okay,
The second time they've sent the letter.
okay.
This is the last time.
Yeah, if you don't pass this time, you have to reapply
We apply all over again.
All over.
from the beginning with money.
Because I have applied through my lawyer who did our green cards. I didn't apply online, but I applied with my lawyer.
Okay.
lawyers. So still, the second time is the last time. So after that, we took apply all over.
You'll have to start all over again. You'll have to submit a brand new application.
And what we do, if I fail, I don't want to apply for citizenship. So what green card will do, right?
Sure. I mean, in this day, in what's going on in the world, in America, we recommend people to apply for citizenship because we've heard a lot of bad stories about people who had green cards.
All the way going or reapplying again because 5 years we waited, 4 years and 9 months, and then we applied. And
Okay,
then for 6 months again we waited. How long we waited?
but you already had one interview.
Yeah, second time also I have the letter here. So they will be interviewing me again the same at a different date.
Yes.
But if I fail again, all over again, we have to apply.
It's about the last 5 years. It's always about the last 5 years whenever you apply.
But will they just let us know why they're rejecting?
I'm sorry, what?
In his case, he was saying it was rejected.
She told him that.
No, not rejected. She asked the questions, 4 or 5 questions. I couldn't understand what she's saying.
Okay, let's talk about the interview. So you're gonna go there, you're gonna give in your letter, you're gonna have a seat, you're gonna give in your letter, then you go to, in Cranberry, you go to another desk, she gives you a ticket. You sit and you wait till they call your ticket number. I don't even know how, if you have a morning appointment like 7:30, anywhere from 7:30 to 8:45, you have a good chance of waiting an hour. After 9 o'clock, I've waited 2.5 hours. I mean, I go to complain to the supervisor, and usually it moves it along, but it can be a long wait in Cranberry. But you sit and you wait and there's a board and they announce what room you need to go to. When you see the officer, make sure you say good morning or good afternoon. This makes them think that you can speak English. At least you can say good morning or good afternoon. Have your green card, your passport, and your state ID, if you don't drive, a non-driving ID, in your hand. So that when the officer asks for it, you're not going like this. So your green card, your passport, your state ID, have it in your hand. Some officers ask the test immediately. Some ask the questions from the citizenship application immediately. Make sure you are as truthful, even if the truth is not great, as truthful as you can be, because they have your history. They know how you got here, when you got here, what happened to you. I mean, I was in an interview a month ago where the officer said, you were in a hotel in 2023. What were you doing at that hotel? Were you there by yourself? Were you smuggling people in? I mean, they know everything about you. So tell the truth. So if they asking the questions first, sometimes you get a very nice officer who will speak slowly and be nice, and sometimes you will not.
What if I fail this time also? So how long we have to wait for the reapplying again?
The next day, if you don't pass the next interview, the next day you can reapply. There's no wait period for that. So if you feel that the officer is unfair, if you feel that the officer, was just looking to dismiss you, if for any reason you feel that you're not being treated fairly, you should stop the interview and be courageous and because they're civil servants. I mean, who are they? I try to tell people, don't let them intimidate you and make you nervous. You should say, I would like to stop the interview and speak to a supervisor because I don't feel that you are speaking clearly enough or giving me enough time or being fair. And they will stop that interview and go get somebody. If you go with an attorney or an accredited rep, they are nicer. They have to be nicer because I'll stop the interview and say, we need to see a supervisor. I'm not saying it's going to work 100% of the time. It has worked in many times where there was somebody who was eligible to take the test under 5515 and the officer refused to give them the test in their native language. And they said, I'm allowed to take the test in Spanish and I want to see a supervisor. And a supervisor came and they took the test and they passed. So be out there.
If I'm applying again all the way, then how much time it will take to
For the
again for an interview?
The same as if it's the first time. I mean, you mean,
6 months.
No, depending on that time, what is the wait time?
what
period?
is the wait time?
It's not your based on previous experience, they will consider your case earlier.
When we applied together, we haven't heard anything about her.
That doesn't mean anything.
Wait.
Because when they open up these applications, sometimes it's the same officer looking at both, and sometimes they split it. And this person could be very busy. I mean, when you go to immigration, you can wait an hour, you can wait 2.5 hours. You have to wait till the officer that you're assigned to is ready to see you, and some officers take a very long time. Some officers ask every single question, and I don't know if you're familiar with that application, but there's a lot of questions. And you should really do your best to make sure that you understand every question. Because a lot of those questions are no, 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 no. And then the officer will say, well, this person just thinks that they could say no to everything. So they'll say, do you pay your taxes? Instead of, do you owe any taxes? So you have to really listen to the question. And when they're asking you those civics questions, take a minute. You're allowed to take a minute and put the question in your head and then think of what you're going to say. Because some people will say, how many people are on the Supreme Court? And then, you'll say the Chief Justice's name, but they're not asking you that. But you hear Supreme Court and you know what you want to say. So repeat the question in your head. You can say, please repeat the question, even if the officer looks angry. No, that's their problem. So try to ask the question in your head and study those questions to the best that you can. But you do have the right to stop an interview and ask for a supervisor. You may be there all day, but at least you'll feel that you were treated fairly. The only person that can go in with you is, again, an attorney or an accredited rep, whoever. If anybody went to a notario or a notary to fill out the applications, you should not go to them. They don't know the rules. And they're not allowed in with you. But if you have the only other time that somebody's allowed in with you is if you're taking it because of 55-15 rule, and then you have a translator with you. But the translator has to repeat only what the person is saying, and if they think that the person is giving them answers, they will stop the interview, and they will caution you. Okay, so make sure you have, if you're going to translate, make sure you have ID with you.
One question, sorry.
When can I, where will I get the translator if I need?
When will you get the what?
Translator?
No, if you're not eligible for a translator, you can't have a translator. If you're applying because of 55-15, do you have your green card for 15 years? Okay, so then you can't have, unless you go with an attorney.
Attorney is in California.
And were you in California at the time?
No, never. But he was the one who did our green card, so I just went through him.
Well, you can still get somebody here, but it's up to you.
So the common question is there officer is going to be trying to behave like they're very kind of hard to reach out or?
Some are, some are not. I've had both. I mean, you try to feel the mood of the officer. If they're being, chatty and nice, then just be that way too. If you feel that they're very strict, only answer what they ask you. Don't irritate them, just answer whatever they ask you. And if you really need them to slow down, they are supposed to speak slowly. And you can say, don't say, I didn't understand you, repeat the question. Say, I didn't hear you. Could you please repeat the question? Usually the officers will. I mean, they do when I'm there, but usually they will. But me going with people does not guarantee that you're going to pass. You have to know those questions and answers.
Is this getting recorded or no? The interview.
To my knowledge, no. So they'll ask you the civics, those 128 questions or 100, whatever it is. Again, if you get 8 wrong before you get 12 right, the interview stops and the officer will reschedule you. You'll get a piece of paper that says you'll be given another opportunity to pass.
12 pass, 8, you cannot cross 8 wrong.
You what?
12 answers to
12 answers correct, you pass that portion. Then the officer will ask you to write one English sentence. I've given you some samples back there. They used to be a little easier. They used to be like, we vote for the president in November. The president lives in the White House. The president lives in Washington, D.C. It usually has something to do with that, or we vote for the president in the fall. Sample words are back there. You will write it on an iPad. If you write the sentence correctly, meaning all the words mean what they are supposed to mean, then they will accept it. You get 3 chances to do it. So, if you misspell a word and it changes the meaning of the word, then you're going to have to write another sentence. So just write and make sure you put a period and a capital. Practice the sentences.
It's our choice, is it what we have to write?
They dictate a sentence to you. They will say, write this sentence. The president lives in the White House. And you will write, the president lives in the White House. Then, if you pass that, then they will give you the iPad and there will be a sentence and they will ask you to read it.
Okay.
You get 3 chances to do that. Then they go through that application. So I just want to talk about the application for a minute. So most of the time, they want to establish that you can pass the test. They usually do that first. Read a sentence, write a sentence, then they're going to go over this application. So there's sometimes a lot of questions with somebody's name. I find that immigrants have a lot of names. Sometimes they have grandfather's names in their names, father's name, and the people have changed their name, and the way the name has spelled is different. So what I've been doing is when they ask for the current legal name, I usually write the name that's in the passport, because I think that's what they're looking at. If you're married, change your, write the married name. And that's not gonna be in your passport if you've changed your name. Usually write the name that's in your passport. If you want to change your name, this is the time to do it. Because they will issue you a certificate of citizenship with a name change document. You can't go back to Citizenship and Immigration Services to get your certificate. They will send you to a court. They've changed the rules. But if you want to change your name, do it now and be done with it. And then you have to change your social and all the other things that you have. They're basically asking for the history for the last 5 years. They will ask you, definitely ask you if you're married, if you have children, where you live, what's your address, what's your phone number. They will definitely ask you, have you had any trips outside the United States that lasted more than 6 months in the last 5 years? And you should say no. They can ask you, what is the last trip that you took? So memorize the last trip that you took. They'll ask you where you went and the dates. Do the best that you can to remember. You don't always have to remember that. You could say, I went from April to June. I went to Pakistan. That's pretty much it. But they will ask you for the last trip, and have you traveled since. If you've traveled since you submit your application, bring with you a piece of paper that has the dates of the trip and where you went. And you can
Submit the application after that if we travel.
if you traveled after, because they'll say, have you had any trips in the that last more than 6 months? No, but I did travel since I submit my application. Where and when did you go? And then they'll let you have a piece of paper that has that. They should. Okay. All of these questions, these are words that people who live here their whole lives don't understand. These are difficult vocabulary words. So most of the time, the officers just go through it, but they can say, like, were you ever a communist? So you'll say no, and they'll say, what's a communist?
This would be easier question for seniors like us.
I agree. This is not, it's done all the time, but it does take preparation and work. That's the truth. But I don't want to dissuade anybody from applying. Seniors pass all the time. So it's just a question of being very well prepared. And again, we do have classes. We do have tutors. You can call my office. We can see if we can help you prepare. My card is back there. So they'll say, what's a communist? And you can say, where one person rules, or just say, like Russia or like Cuba. If you give an example, they'll accept that. Are you a terrorist? No. What's a terrorist? You can say, people who attack the World Trade Center, people who want to do you harm. You can use your own definition as long as they have an idea of what you're saying. Most of this vocabulary can be difficult, but just know what a terrorist is, a communist. They can ask you if you were ever in the military. So if you were ever in the military in any country, you should list it here. On this application, they do ask if you qualify for a fee waiver. So if you qualify for a fee waiver because your income is between those two numbers and you're applying for half, you're going to put that here. If you're asking for them to waive the whole fee, then fill out the fee waiver form. Again, if you have any questions, call my office. We have a citizenship instructor who could maybe help you up with a tutor. Our fee for filling out the citizenship application is normally $365. If you've been to a workshop where you are right now, it's $250. That's our fee. That's basically it. It used to be that if you passed the test, that you were able to go to the oath ceremony immediately and family members can come in with you. Right now, they stopped that with this administration. Even if you pass, they send you an invitation to the oath ceremony at a later date.
Then
Nobody gets the certificate the same day anymore.
not same day.
They stopped. They stopped a lot. So that's pretty much.
Only filling up the form
My fee includes filling out the form. If somebody wants me to go with them to the interview, it's 500 because I can be there practically all day. So those are our fees. If someone can show that they have, that they meet poverty guidelines or whatever, we try to help them out. I mean, we're a not-for-profit. If you go to, immigration attorneys, obviously the fees are much more. But our fee is $365 for everybody who does not attend a workshop, $250 if you attend a workshop. Does anybody?
How many attempts they give you if
So
somebody gets failed?
So if you go and you do not pass, they give you a letter that says you didn't pass, you'll come back another time. Within 3 months, within 3 months, they'll give you a date to come back. If you fail that second time, you have to submit an application again with the fee. So 2, every application, you can have at most 2. Honestly, I've seen 3 because sometimes an officer will be very nice and feel like you almost got it. And I've had some occasions where the officer was nice enough where we're almost there and they've given us a 3rd. But it's not in their guidebook. They're not supposed to. But once or twice you'll find somebody who will do it, but it's not frequent. I've seen it, but it's 2.
Among that 12 question passes, like, sometimes, you did 11, you did 10, you are out of 2, still they,
Out of 20, you have to pass 12, right?
Out of the 20, you have to get 12 correct. And this happened October 31st. Before that, you only had to get 6 correct. So we were very busy in October with people getting that into the deadline. But again, you had to be here for 4 years and 9 months. You can't apply before you're eligible, not even a day.
October, we had filed in October.
You filed before October 31st?
Yeah.
Did they ask you 6 questions? Did they give you the 2008 test?
No,
No, 4 years and 9 months
No.
question to me to check.
to October
No.
2025, last year.
No. The test that they gave you, there's 2 versions of the test. The 2008 version and the 2025 version. So I don't know when you applied.
We applied in October.
So
At
now,
the end? What's the receipt date? I'm gonna double check it.
Are they going to ask from this or apart from this?
I'm sorry, what?
Are they going to ask question from this or apart from this?
When did you apply? Did you apply already?
No, I'm not.
The harder one.
For this
27.
2025 one, right?
The 2020, the one that says the 2025 version.
Okay, so this is all the questions.
Miss, she has to go to work because.
Of course.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It's 8 o'clock. We're right on time. We are right on time.
We applied on 10/29.
October 29, 2025.
I have to look this up, if it's October 31st. Hold on. October was definitely the deadline. But did they ask you the 2008 version of the test? You don't know.
I don't know. Because he was practicing the 2026 questions. So
2025 questions.
questions, yes.
Good luck, everyone. If you have any questions, my cards are back there. Please feel free to give me a call if you have any questions at all.
So there's no written test.
The written test is just to write an English sentence.
So do we have the questions for the 2008 one questions?
Yeah, I think we had them there.
What questions I should go through now for the second time? I have applied in October 29.
Same as, I'm gonna check the exact date. I know it was October. I thought it was October 31st, but let me double check. But I don't know, maybe they did give you the 2008 questions. You're not sure.
எல்லாமே கரெக்டா நேம் ஒன் திங்
ஓ ஏன்னா ஒன்னு சொன்னா போறோம் ஓகே
for the regular information session.
Okay.
That concludes the regular information, right?
October 30, yes, yes, you can. Are you gonna edit that? No, okay.
So Debbie, thank you so much for all that information. And please, everybody, feel free to avail yourself of our printing, scanning, faxing services. We can help you with all of that for any of the documentation that you need. Thank you so much. I forgot to mention that you are from the Jewish Family
I'm from
Services.
Jewish Family Services. Our office is in North Brunswick off of Route 1, and my card is out there if you have any questions.
Thank you all for coming on this.
October 20th. So you missed it. Well, what's your receipt?